But when he says he is the God who is to come, he is declaring that he is the God that is going to be with us in the next crisis. And before you shout, I have a problem with that. Yeah. Because how can he be the God of my next, Sophia, if he hasn't brought me out of what I'm in right now? How can he be the God of my next if I'm still broke, if I'm still depressed, if I still got a cough, a chew, and they put me in quarantine? How can he be the God of my next and I'm not through with my now? And when I have problems with this kind of stuff exegetically, Sherrod, I go to God in prayer because we tight like that. And I talk to my daddy and I ask him to explain it to me. And I thought that he was going to give me, Kobe, some deep Greek exegetical explanation for it. He says, son, do you remember when you took your kids to go see Black Panther? I said, yeah, I remember. I took my kids to see Black Panther. I like comic books, and so consequently, I've raised my kids to like comic books. And so, God, I remember when I took them to watch Black Panther. There's a point in Black Panther where he's fighting the principal villain of the film. And this is the second fight like this he's had, but he wins the first one. This one, he loses. Not only does he lose, but he gets thrown off a cliff. When my daughter sees this, she is undone. Because he's the hero. And she doesn't understand how the hero can get killed in his own movie. But there's a blessing here. Because I didn't take my children to see Black Panther on opening weekend. Me and my wife went on a date with another couple to see it first. So we went and saw it first. A few weeks went by before I took my kids to see it. The Thursday before the Friday I took them to see it, I was looking at the news on Google. And the news on Google said, based on box office records, Black Panther has been greenlit for 3 sequels. Yeah. Black Panther was approved for 3 sequels. Even before the first movie finished its theatrical run. So my daughter is in the theater tripping because the main character looks like he's dead and he's not going to make it. But I'm able to lean over to her and tell her, don't worry, there's a sequel coming. She says, Daddy, how can there be a sequel coming if he's dead? And I look at her and she says, oh, that means he's got to make it. Because they can't make another Black Panther if the Black Panther dies. Come here, let me preach to you. God told me to tell you that if he's declaring that he's the God of your next, then that means that you got to survive what you're going through now. Because there can't be a next, God help me. Oh God, unless he sees you through what you're going through right now. Look at somebody and tell them you're going to make it, God help me. Because he's not just the God who is, God help me. And he's not just the God who was, but he's the God of your next, God help me. Oh, wherever you are in life, he is always there. God says, I'm showing up in the sequel. Oh, God, and if I'm showing up in the sequel, then that means I got to bring you with me. God, help me. I've got to make sure you survive to get you to the end.